What's up, guys? My name is Jeff, I'm the owner of RDR Gear in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today we are going to do a little comparison on something I have zero information or knowledge on. I'll pre-warn you now. But later, back in the studio, I have my good friend Kisa Libby, who is a sponsored pro shooter for PWS rifles. She's going to come by the studio, hang out with me for a little bit, talk some shit, and give me the rundown on the PWS piston-driven rifles. I do not know anything about piston. All I've in the past known that piston driven were for people who didn't like to clean guns. That's what I knew about piston guns. From what I understand, they shoot softer, stay cleaner, and you know the malfunctions aren't as crazy to work through as I've been told in the past. So we're gonna shoot Kisa's, I think it's one of her like long range multi-gun or 3-gun setups, her Vortex and the bipod, something new. She'll explain that to me later. And then we're going to compare this, I believe, is a 14.5 gun. We're going to shoot an 11.5 comparison gun and a DI gun, and we're going to compare the two rifles. We'll look for some recoil impulse, see how well they shoot, see what kind of different ammo they like, and then we'll go from there. We'll head back to the studio and we'll get some down and dirty specs on piston versus DI. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so let's start with a little DI gun. Crispy, I apologize in advance. This is going to be loud. Plug your delicate ears. So this is basically just a parts gun that I have, 11.5 gun, War Sport upper, CAC rail, a ADM early ADAC lower, ambi. That's an ambi as well, so we're going to shoot a few rounds of this thing. Let me grab some ears before I kill myself like I did earlier with the pistol. Stand by. Alrighty, so we're going to look for some recoil impulse, see how the gun recoils, see what I feel, compare the two, and go from there. Brains are going hot. Right off the bat, I don't feel a lot of recoil because, of course, with the dead air muzzle device, I definitely, that is loud though. You probably feel it too, Christian.
Yeah.
You feel it? So we're going to shoot a few more. Gun shoots pretty flat. Not a lot of muzzle rise. Again, that's a lot of mechanics as well as muzzle device. We got a huge fireball at the front end.
I was going to say, I got that on camera too.
So let's switch up rifles. All right, so we'll switch to the PWS rifle now. Again, this is my first time shooting this gun. This is Kisa's personal rifle that she shoots all of her matches with. Duke Defense offset irons. The Magpul bipod, I think, is something she just recently added. I'm not for sure. Razor 1-6. And again, the PWS. What's cool about these rifles as well in PWS, they are a standard ambi lower. I didn't realize, and I think Kisa did as well, how valuable having an ambi lower is, especially until you start getting into improvised positions and whatnot. Having that ability to drop magazine, lock bolt to the rear, all that stuff with an ambi lower is very, very helpful. And again, so if I was working the street, per se, law enforcement, whatever, I would probably definitely look at having an ambi lower versus a standard right side only lower. So, all right, let's shoot the sucker and see what's up. And we're gonna shoot some 1055 grain. Kisa had mentioned 55 grain compared to 223 for a piston gun is a little different. She said the 223s will shoot a little softer. I brought a little bit, but I'm probably gonna keep that ammo for another time and kind of let her explain to me why that is in regards to shooting a piston compared to a DI gun. All right, let's see what this works. I apologize in advance. This is probably a super gamer ass trigger in here, so it might go super fast or whatever. I am excited though because it's my first time shooting a Vortex 1-6, so we'll get to see what all the hype is about. So I probably put it on one. Is that a true one, Kisa? That sucker is close. Alrighty, so right off the bat, she's at a birdcage flash hider. I feel a lot of chug, but it's a very soft recoil. I don't think it was as significant as the DI gun right off the gate. Yeah, it's a really super easy shooting rifle. Yeah, that is definitely a big difference. Why? I can't tell you why that is. Something I'm sure with the piston. But let's fill up another mag and kind of go around again. All right, so let's do a little mag here. We'll do a little mag change, and then we're going to switch out, let you try it, see what you think, right? Since you're as new as I am, so let's see what you feel as far as recoil impulse goes. All right, you ready? Gun is super fast, very easy on the recoil impulse. I'm kind of a fan, to be honest. What's swap camera gear and whatnot, and what you try it?
Newbie shooter. I don't shoot a whole lot. Okay.
All right, so what do you think about recoil? Is it easy to shoot?
It's not too bad. It's easy. I noticed that I had to make sure that my thumb was on the top of it so that I could kind of deal with the verticality of it. When I did like the 2 burst, you know, it started to raise a little bit higher.
Okay.
For single shots, it would stay on target pretty easily. And then I quickly was able to kind of learn how to, you know,
control the recoil.
That.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you do that too, just suck the rifle into your shoulder, pull it back from the forend, and that'll help you keep it level too. Okay. All right, so drop that magazine. Yep. All right, so charge his handle, drop that 1 round in there, find that $9 we just dropped on the ground,
okay,
and then grab the other rifle.
So I feel like this one has a little more violent.
Yeah.
I feel like it was heavier, but it would fall to center faster.
Maybe
so there was less vertical, but it was more like...
Yeah.
Is that about what you felt?
Yep, same thing. So that could be, so we'll find out on the piston if that's what's doing it for us.
Okay. Sweet.
What's up, guys? My name is Jeff. I'm the owner of RDR Gear in Salt Lake City, Utah, and today I have my good friend Kisa Libby with me. Kisa is a sponsored shooter with PWS, Primary Weapon Systems, and today we're going to talk about a topic that I know nothing about, and Kisa will vouch that I talked a lot of shit about in the days. Piston rifles, to me, were for lazy people who didn't want to clean guns. Then after shooting one, I kind of got to admit they do shoot a little differently than a DI gun. And today we went out and shot both rifles, and Kisa's going to help me kind of give me a beginner's tutorial on piston-driven rifles, since she has quite a few PWS rifles, and seems these guys really do have it dialed in regards to the working man's piston-driven rifle. So I will give it to you. So I've known you now, what, how many years?
7? No, it would be almost 9.
Okay, so 9 years. So we've known each other through the circle of people here in the Valley. Kisa works at Salt Lake Wholesale. If you've ever been to Salt Lake Wholesale, which I know you have, if you're looking for a deal on something, Salt Lake Wholesale is Utah's kind of LE distributor in regards to ammo, guns, all the products come off the state bid. Kisa's kind of the gal over there who helps everybody get their stuff squared away, which they really don't know what they're doing, so she kind of fixes them, gets them on the right path. So I'm trying to find words that aren't curse words, since the guy behind the camera wants me to curse less. So yeah, that's why. Yes, you did. So we got to monetize, Crispy. So anyway, so he says that. So she's quite connected with a lot of the shooters in the Valley as far as competition shooters, as well as LE guys running different variation of rifles. They are a dealer of PWS here in the Valley. So let's talk about the rifle. So which model is this one?
This is the Mark 114 Alpha, kind of.
Okay, what do you mean by kind of?
They came out with a Mark 114 Alpha, which was a 14.5-inch pinned, very similar to their 14.5-inch Mod 1 and Mod 2 rifles. This one was just custom made. It's 13.5 inches with all the same things that make the Alpha different, which were like the heavier barrel with a 1-7 twist instead of the 1-8 twist, and just beefier hand guard, and pretty much just your plain old fashioned flash hider. Okay. Nothing too crazy.
All right. So this one here was a custom setup. I think you mentioned to me in the past. There are only a handful of these made, right?
3.
So, so you got 1 of 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you must be special over there. Wow, that's impressive. So,
I mean,
okay, no, that's cool. So, no, that says a lot about PWS and supporting you. So, if you're getting 1 of 3, that says a lot about their appreciation to you sharing their product. So,
I feel
that's
really
pretty
lucky,
cool.
For sure.
That's one thing. Let's go front to back.
Okay.
when we did shoot it today, I shot it, Chrissy shot it. I felt that if this gun had something of a hybrid flash hider or maybe a war comp, a surefire war comp of some sort. We shot today, what did we shoot? Oh, we shot the Franken rifle. So we shot a rifle. This is my kind of Franken gun. So this is just a old school ADM lower, ambi lower, Knight's rail, Roscoe barrel. But we did shoot a dead air hybrid style muzzle device. So Crispy felt that there was a lot less muzzle rise and a lot more violence here when we did see a lot of muzzle flash at the end. But I feel that if this rifle had something in regards to either a hybrid or a true muzzle device, flash hider, whatever, this thing would have been way more comfortable to shoot than it would have been this one here.
Yeah, most of my competition guns have comps on them. Honestly, when Dean built this for me, I think he probably knew that I would change the muzzle device out. So we just went with kind of a classic A2 kind of setup. So I probably will put a comp on it, not because I need quite as much help with muzzle rise. I've been shooting piston gun for a while and I can hardly even notice a difference anymore. Mostly just because it sucks to shoot in prone in the desert and have gases expelled straight down. So, I mean, it's still not awesome to shoot prone when you're shooting in the dirt, but most of my comps will pull everything out this way. And that's what I like the most about them. They're loud though, and it's been kind of nice having the A2 style flash hider because I can shoot and I don't feel like everybody around me moderately hates me. Okay.
All right, that makes sense. So when we talk about back to front, we talk about heavy barrel, shorter rail system. In the piston gun, piston is basically gas delayed blowback, right? So how does the piston differ from the DI gun in regards to how this thing functions compared to a direct impingement gun? What's making it shoot softer? What's making it shoot whatever? Why is it cleaner, etc.?
Mostly, it's just the difference in how the gas is being used and directed to cycle your action. I mean, in a very basic, just run-of-the-mill kind of term, that is the biggest difference. Gas is what operates both of these systems. But in the piston gun, it's directed differently. So you have a tube up here, which is where your piston rides. Okay. This gas adjustment knob is on the outside. That's another feature of the Alpha. Most of the time with the PWS guns, it's in, and then you just need a tool to adjust it. So you have 3 adjustable positions with most of the PWS. So you can tune your rifle to your ammo, to your suppressor. You can also even sometimes work with your buffer and your muzzle and your gas adjustment, and you can really start to work like the perfect magical system. Okay, makes sense. Which isn't an option that you have with DI guns, really. Okay.
You're trying to do the buffer magic with a DI gun oftentimes, or a bolt, lightweight or whatever case may be, dicking with buffers and springs, etc. So that makes a lot of sense. So having the ability to tune it from front to back, that says a lot. So, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So basically, when you talk about being able to adjust a gun from piston to buffer to muzzle brake, you're really going to tune this thing to the exact round that you might want to shoot, whether you make one or buy one or whatever.
I mean, you can.
Okay.
Out of the box, though, this isn't, all the PWS rifles are the same as you should be able to pull them out of the box and shoot factory ammo in them, period. Okay. You should be able to shoot factory ammo in those firearms suppressed. It shouldn't require anything like that. They should just be good to go. However, I mean, you and I both know people that science the crap out of their loads and want to get the most out of everything. And they're always constantly experimenting. And that's kind of what makes PWS fun. I haven't done a lot of that myself until just recently. And it's kind of been a new adventure.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about low receiver. So I've been running this ADM lower. This thing is probably this is SHOT Show, probably 2013, I think, when I first got this one here. This was kind of the early versions of the ambi lowers. When we did the injured shooter class with SlyTac and PP Solutions, this came in super handy. And this is probably the reason why I'd like to get a PWS rifle. I probably won't get one of 3, the Magic Super Queen guns, but you know, I do like the ambi lower due to the fact that it really did make a lot of sense in regards to how we were doing the drills and whatnot, and the mag release and whatnot, and bolt overrides, bolt malfunctions and whatnot, and then being able to bump and then work that gun left-handed, which you don't get often in any other DI gun. So that was super cool.
Yeah. So
this the ambi lower, that's a standard feature on all the rifles?
No, so PWS has several models, but right now the 3 models that they're selling primarily are the the Mod 1, which is always going to have a forward assist, and usually comes with the Mod 1 lower, which you can normally recognize it's not ambi, and it doesn't have the flared magwell. The Mod 2s are the ones like my competition gun from last year, which have the lightning cuts here, flared magwell. The rail is a lot more skeletonized, just to lighten it up. So they've done a ton on the Mod 2s to lighten them up. This is more like a Mod 1. It's just heavier. It's more battle rifle. Like, it's more do work rifle. Not that any of their guns are not working rifles. It's just, you know, there's a scale in there of what you want. And then they also have the Pro, which is more like the Mod 1, except for it doesn't have a forward assist. Same guts as your Mod 1 and your Mod 2, everything that makes those guns just insanely reliable. Same guts, it just has a extruded upper, and it comes with the Mod 1 lower. So because of the process of assembling and making those, they are actually at a lower price point. So what PWS, I think, was trying to do for the most part is build a rifle that fit into that like patrol budget for law enforcement. So that's actually those Mark 111s and the 16 inches. They're great guns.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do those models come with the ambi lower, or is the ambi lower?
So they come with, it just depends. Mod 2 is the only one that comes with the ambi lower. But anyone can kind of mix and match, and that's actually what a lot of people do.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I didn't even know the benefits of having an ambi lower until we took the injured shooters class. Like, as a competition shooter.
Sure, you don't use it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny, like, who needs to drop the mag from this side? Like, it doesn't really matter. But once we took that class, like you knew, I hadn't even played with many of those features at all. Like, I didn't even know where like the bolt release was.
No, it's definitely a cool feature to have an ambi. I mean, it makes a big difference being able to lock that bolt to the rear just off the controls that are on both sides of the gun without having an additional like bad lever or whatever case may be. So it's definitely a cool feature on that.
Well, you actually still have to lock it back. You still have to lift it. Still on the one side, but you can drop it from either side, that's when he had me step on it when we were doing the one-handed.
Cool. Do these rifles come with the BCM style stock, or do you add that yourself?
Yeah. All right. Most of their furniture is BCM. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I put like an ergo grip on mine just because I have special needs with my hands.
So if someone was going to buy a rifle, right, and they've got the money, you know, Crispy's going to buy a new AR-15, and he can choose from a piston gun or a non-piston gun. I know you're kind of biased to the piston gun, but is there really any benefit for that new shooter who's going to buy a rifle? Do they spend the extra money to get a piston gun, or are they kind of just, are they going to get lost in the weeds as far as maintenance and whatnot goes? Or they kind of, which would they go if you were going to sell them on one way or the other?
Well, honestly, I think for the new shooter that's looking for their first AR-style rifle, it really doesn't matter. I think a lot of people are somewhat off-put about the PWS piston system because a lot of people think about like HKs, right? Which are pretty complicated, lots of moving parts, really expensive. Popular, nothing wrong with them, but there's a lot of things about the HK that would intimidate people. So PWS kind of gets lumped into that, either more like an AK, which is like indestructible blunt object gun, or H&K high-end, like
the Gucci.
Exactly.
You don't want to get it scratched up, whatnot. Yeah.
So that makes PWS kind of seem like maybe it wouldn't be something for a beginner gun, but it was my first AR.
Okay.
Like I had a M1A before this, and you were actually the one that told me to get a PWS when I wanted to shoot my first AR. You totally did. You knew we had them.
Cry on crack in that conversation. I do not remember that being the case.
You actually told me the exact model to get, the 14.5 inch.
I maybe said 14.5 inch rifle, but I didn't maybe say PWS until, I shouldn't say that now, because I do want one, so. But I would definitely do the Mod 2 portion. I was going to buy one. I wouldn't buy another, especially a gun that I'm going to add weight to.
Yeah.
If I couldn't make this thing just as Gucci as it could be in regards to functionality without having an ambi setup in the lower setup. So because the more I push this gun in different classes and whatnot, having an ambi is a huge benefit in regards to that aspect. So cool. Well, you just completed your first YouTube video. I'm excited. Thank you for coming to help me. Guys, if you like what you see here, we post 2 to 3 videos every week. I'm sure there's going to be something you want to watch, you like to see. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you then. Take care.
Any final thoughts for you?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is your time, you know? I mean, you did great. So.
Well, I don't know. The one thing I did want to talk about when you asked me about like the... we went on a tangent with HKs, but as far as maintenance goes, it's not much different.
Okay.
You have a piston tube that needs to be cleaned every, depends on the type of shooter you are, but every 10,000 or, 5,000 to say 20,000 if you're me rounds. You just run a 40 cal brush through it with some solvent, and that's it.
Cool.
That's it. That's the only thing that's really different about maintaining.
So basically what Kisa told you guys was that in 2032, you'll have to clean your rifle because you ain't going to get the 10,000 rounds the way they cost this day and age. So don't worry about cleaning it until like your grandkids will clean it for you at that time. So we appreciate that. Unlike some people who the competition world are shooting every weekend, ammo is a thing. So dry fire as always. And anything else you want to add before we kick off?
No.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be well. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Take care.
Since you're a YouTuber now, you have to put your hand over the lens.
Boom.
Nah, further.
Oh.
All the way. Touch it.